The final shape. Cayde is back in a mysterious valley on the other side of the portal. Where is this mysterious location, and how does Cayde still exist? We literally watched him die in our arms back in Forsaken, so what happened? Today we're going to discuss the secrets of the garden, light, and the final shape.
I don't even know where to begin. You've missed so much. We've slain gods, vanquished nightmares, fought alongside those who we once fought against. I wish you could have been there.
Yeah, me too, kiddo. But hey, I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
Welcome Guardians, hope you're having a great day. This video will contain a lot of speculation. I of course had the same questions you did after watching the trailer yesterday, and although we don't have solid answers, we can speculate and look back at the lore for some pointers. The first thing we can note is that this takes place in the portal for sure. The portal is near the Traveler in Lightfall, but does not necessarily mean it leads inside. The first thing that popped into my head was, is this the original garden? Light and Dark played their games of creation before the universe and time existed in this place they called the garden, creating the laws and beings of the universe. In that realm, it would seem that anything is possible, a space where universes could be created to their liking, bent to their wills. Of course, the two, Gardner and Winnower, both had different ideals, but the game was still played. In the wet pop of grapes and the smear of berries, in the perturbation of the field that was the garden before the first tick of time and the first point of space, were the detonations that made the universes. Each universe was pregnant with its own inflationary volumes and braided with ever-ramifying timelines. Did the witness go here, a place where the universe could be shaped as it would see fit? It could explain how Cayde is found here for Ikora, someone willing him into existence. What we do know is that Cayde exists in this realm. Either he has been brought here given the line where he doesn't know where he is, or he's been here the whole time.
I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
What we can see is that Cayde is full of light, his ace of spades pieced together with fragments of light, and the light effect seen in his eyes. At first glance I thought that was some taken effect, but it does appear to be pure light. Cayde himself seems confused, like he doesn't know where he is, making it sound like he's new to this area like Ikora, or like he hasn't been here very long. So perhaps Ikora was able to summon him somehow. Because she was in this space, could she shape her own ideals in this possible garden? Another thing to note is that Cayde is here, but his ghost Sundance isn't seen at all. Another great guess? What about the place we learn about in Lightfall, the River of Souls, which flows and exists in all things?
The nature of Strand confirms this line of thinking. Darkness is something entirely apart from light. A paracausal union, conjoining intangible conscious realities, discursively linking to—
You're talking about the River of Souls.
River?
Yeah, it's a story we tell kids on Neptune.
A nursery rhyme.
Sort of. Since before history, there's been this raging river. In the story, some try to divert the river, others try to build a dam, but nothing stops it. Lots of people have believed that we either sink in the water or learn to swim.
Don't we?
See, that's the real wild part. We are the river.
And empowered by it, it would seem.
All things come from the river, and all return to it. The river may split and meet again. Other things may fall into it and change its course, but nevertheless, it continues. In time, even mountains are worn down before it. In both the book Warp and Weft and also that cutscene, Nimbus and many other characters know about this River of Souls, some even call it the River of Stars. It's used to describe Strand and how it exists in all things and how we relinquish control to acquire it, but this place may not only just be a metaphor. In the Inspire lore book, the Kugu alien species says this: I know you are real and happy out there on some other part of the world, far from the untranslatable where our ancestors dream exist together. That card was also from Lightfall, and it wouldn't really make sense to mention some random river if it wasn't connected to the River of Souls, in my opinion at least. And they also mentioned where their ancestors dream exist together. This place in the teaser definitely seems like that place. During Season of the Haunted, we helped several characters sever their nightmares on board the Leviathan. A nightmare was a manifestation of darkness, a psychic war tool used to conjure fear within the victim. Nightmares were created by Nezarec, and the moon was a hotbed for them, the Leviathan 2, which hovered overhead. During gameplay, we would help Crow, Zavala, and Cayde sever their nightmares, turning the nightmares into friendly nightmare figures of light that would just float there and were much different than their evil selves.
I'll always be balancing on the edge of something terrible, but now I have someone to pull me back. Who? You.
These light ghosts may have just been there to represent the sever we achieved, banishing the nightmare, showing you your progress. Or maybe the dark manifestations were actually cleansed by the light and now were a part of it. During that same season in a lore card, Ikora's nightmare was Cayde 6. From the Trespasser lore card, we see that story. It kills me to say it, but I really am impressed, the voice says, an echo reverberating from the past. Ikora does her best to keep focused, to push past the breath of resurging anguish. But a nightmare like this refuses to be so easily ignored. It stands at her side, wearing her friend's face, horn and all, the ribboned edges of its cloak swaying beside the hand cannon holstered at its hip. It speaks in his voice, but its words are false and dripping with poison. She forces herself forward, climbing the steps to the Leviathan's entrance. Walking in uninvited is usually my whole thing. It continues as it floats beside her. Unless you started taking after me? You are nothing more than a memory, Ikora replies without looking at it. You are not him. Can't argue with that logic, it says, flashing a smile. After all, he's dead. Ikora flinches as a nightmare circles around, hovering just over her shoulder. Thanks to Zavala, you, and most of all, thanks to Aldrin Sov. Ikora's brow furrows and she clenches her fists, continuing her ascent. He shot me with my own gun, the nightmare presses. Do you remember that? Ikora picks up her pace. Still, the nightmare follows. I mean, you must, right? It asks. What was it you promised to do? Mount his head on his precious throne? That was some real big talk, Ikora. But instead of doing that, instead you welcomed that scumbag to the tower with open arms. So, I'm thinking either your memories are a little mixed up or maybe you really have forgotten what that murderer did to me. Crow is not Aldrin, Ikora seethes. The nightmare smirks. Right, just like I'm not Cayde. Ikora spins on her feet, chest heaving, void light flaring in her fists and deep within her eyes. But there is nothing behind her, only the emptiness of space. Ikora, Eris's voice crackles over the comms. Perhaps it would be best for you to return. Ikora breathes deeply, palms flat at her sides. She gives the Leviathan's doors one long, final look before turning back. So Ikora had this nightmare of Cayde 6, but she never confronted it, she just left the Leviathan. So is Cayde 6 a figment of Ikora's imagination? A friendly nightmare she may come to sever and it's now helping her in this new realm? Or is this an Afterlife type situation? I'm not really sure about this one, but let's talk about it anyway. We don't know where the portal in Lightfall leads, but it's near the Traveler, so it obviously has a connection to it and even the light. Light and dark merge to create this portal in this place. So when Guardians die, do they return here? Return to the Traveler or perhaps the Garden? In the Legend Black Garden card from Destiny 1, Pujari dies and experiences the Afterlife and the Black Garden. This is the vision I had when I leapt from the shores of time and let myself sink. I walked beneath the blossoms. The light came from ahead and the shadows of the flowers were words. They said things, but I will not write them here. At the end of the path grew a flower in the shape of a ghost. I reached out to pluck it and it cut me with a thorn. I bled and the blood was light. The ghost said to me, "You are a dead thing made by a dead power in the shape of the dead. All you will ever do is kill. You do not belong here. This is a place of life." "The Traveler is life," I said. "You are a creature of darkness. You seek to deceive me." But I looked behind me, down the long slope where the blossoms tumbled in the warm wind, and the great trees wept sap like blood or wine, and I felt doubt. When my ghost raised me from the sea, there was a thorn cut in my left hand, and it has not healed since. Pujari experiences the Black Garden upon death. Different gardens some may think than the original, or is it? In this garden, this guardian bled of light. Cayde also emits light. In Season of the Deep, from the opening cinematic, we see Guardians will die if they try to enter the portal currently, but Ikora clearly learns how in this final shape teaser. Now we do have 2 more seasons after Deep leading up to Lightfall to figure out what to do and how to get in there, but whatever it is, Ikora finds it. The Witness was able to enter, but not Joxer the Guardian, unless he did through death. Ikora does have her ghost here though, which likely means she just figured out how to enter herself and did not actually die, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. The lore card Akashic Revelation from this season actually explains what happens to this Guardian Joxer as they try and fly through the portal. They experience moments from different times and even their previous life. 2 Cabal escorts on either side of Joxer's Hawk stall their engines, letting the Hawk proceed forward toward the Traveler. They say something over the comms in Ulurenth. The translation roughly means, "Beyond the known is the terror of the universe," his ghost offers. Joxer's not sure if it's a warning, a curse, or a pep talk. Knowing the Cabal, it's all 3. Easing the flight stick forward, Joxer moves the Hawk ahead at a steady pace. His ghost's eye widens as the rosy light from the portal brightens and the kaleidoscope surface is all that can be seen in any direction. Joxer's grip on the controls tightens as he feels a bone-deep sense of vertigo. Echoes of piano notes tinkling in his periphery. He can feel hands on his chest beneath his armor, breath against his cheek inside his helmet. "Eric, come back to bed," a voice whispers inside his mind. He sees a city. A home, family, and children. He can't sleep. They aren't alone in the universe. The Ares Project is going to... His ghost is screaming, shell coming apart at the seams. Joxer pulls himself back to reality and jerks the controls as the nose of the Hawk touches the portal. He hears laughter, screams, feels lips on his cheek, hands on his shoulders as the ship begins to pass through. His ghost scream stretches from the moment of the Big Bang to the heat death of the universe. Joxer hears a scream he will make as the ship begins and ends. "Come back to bed." He catches up to the scream. So this is crazy. This Guardian feels moments from his previous life before he was a Guardian. They even say his name, Eric. We know darkness has to do with memory and light and dark collided to make this portal, but some time travel shenanigans are going on here for sure.
Scientists continue to study the alien structure the Witness created from the remains of the Traveler. The link established between the Veil and the Traveler's so-called Pale Heart created a portal through which the Pyramid Fleet leader escaped. Professor Alagi Ahmed commented, "It appears to be an Einstein-Rosen bridge, but with paracausality, little can be said for certain.
So, Neomuna scientists explain this portal as an Einstein-Rosen bridge, or in other words, a wormhole in space. A wormhole is like a tunnel between two distant points in our universe that cuts the travel time from one point to another. Instead of traveling for millions of years from one galaxy to another, under the right conditions, one could theoretically use a wormhole to cut time travel down to hours or minutes. So if that theory by this Neomuna scientist is true, this wormhole can possibly transport you to different periods of time or locations in super quick moments. Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Leave your theories about Cayde 6 in the comments down below. Is this Cayde 6 after death, an afterlife of sorts? Is it located in the Traveler or maybe even the Garden? Is this a memory of Ikora brought back to life to somehow help us in the final shape? It's only been a day I was searching through some of the lore trying to throw this together. There may be some pieces we missed, and leave those down below if you found anything interesting. If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.